On Saturday, a lot of people were preoccupied with what the Jays were doing, but the Leafs played well. They played well, but they lost Tanev. And that's what is really the story of the game for me, is what happens with Chris Tanev, and we don't have an answer on that. But it's very scary stuff when a guy leaves on a stretcher. He just got back from a concussion. You can't replace him. But how do they survive without him if Tanev's going to be out long term?
It's hard, man, because that's the guy that eats up all your big minutes against tough competition, and the team's not defending well right now. Like they've been leaky. Now Saturday's night's game is a different story, but how do you get by? It was not thin on name value, but it was thin on guys that could really do something that were different, right? Like it's a lot of the same kind of slow boots, have some issues moving the puck. Like Morgan Riley gets on the ice and he can make something happen offensively, especially when he's on the ice with Matthews' line. But it's a big issue, man. How did they replace Chris Tanev before they had him? It was tough. They really needed a player like Tanev, being able to put him out there in penalty kill situations, blocking shots. Like one of the things that really goes under the radar as far as Tanev is concerned, and it hasn't been as great this year, maybe in years past, but the ability to break pucks out clean, draw in a forechecker and slide it under someone's stick and hit the middle of the ice, something Tanev does really well, but, not having him and then having him for he's not getting any younger. It's been tough. It's been tough. Like you need more out of Jake McCabe. You need way more out of Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Way more out of Brandon Carlo. It's just it's cliche, but it's true. Like those are the guys that can make a difference. If you're asking more from Simon Benoit or Philippe Myers, I'm just not sure you can get that much more from those guys. They kind of are what they are.
And your goalie, right, Noodles?
Yeah.
I don't know when Wall's coming back. I haven't heard anything on that front.
I mean, apparently he's been around the team skating, being in shape, but I still think he's probably a conditioning stint with the Marlies. You're not just going to step right back in. This guy missed training camp, everything. I think it's a conditioning stint, and then he comes back up. That hit, in watching the game, it was, from behind, he skated back in, but it wasn't like this egregious, no. It was really a weird hit. I don't know how you guys.
Sometimes you see hits like that. When I think Prong's one of his last hits was in Philadelphia too.
Yeah,
and it didn't seem like just a crazy hit. It was like kind of a nothing hit, and then all of a sudden, guys are gone. Yeah. Scary stuff, man.
That was scary.
Doesn't it remind you of, remember Muzzin? Muzzin had those couple concussions, and then he took that one last one where you're like, that didn't seem like much, but it just kind of had compounded at that point, right? That's the thing that scares you about it.
That's what's concerning. And, remember Jake McCabe, the same thing. I think it was last year. He left a couple different times, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And back-to-back concussions in short order. Now he's back and playing, and you hope for the same from Tanev, but the Muzzin example is a good one, but it's a scary one. That they accumulated too much, and it got to a point where he couldn't trust, his own body. And if he got hit, even if it wasn't an egregious hit, it may not work for him. We'll see. Because Tanev, he's not going to play anytime soon. And we always focus on the acquisition of maybe a top six winger, maybe a centerman. Well, it could be a defenseman if Tanev's not going to play for a while.
I see. The stretcher thing really rattled me because I was like, we all know Tanev's had issues with the shoulder, with the head, everything. This guy's an absolute warrior, absolute warrior.
Nails. He's nails, Noodles.
And one of the best humans you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
But I was like, that he ran into a fire hydrant too. That kid is not fading away to a mountain. That kid is already looks a little thick right now, but. The point being, I thought it was his shoulder. I was like, okay, weird. He's going to have to get up and skate it off, but maybe popped his shoulder out. And then when the stretcher came out, I was genuinely concerned. You're sitting there going, that's not right. He's not moving. He's not, they did give the thumbs up.
That brings it to a different level.
Yeah,
that
it really
definitely
does.
brings it to a different level.